The sun rose over the Pacific, casting golden light across the vast expanse of water. On the deck of a research vessel, a team of marine biologists stood in quiet awe as they observed a heartbreaking sight. A lost baby blue whale, its plaintive cries echoing through the sea, calling desperately for its mother. Time passed, yet no sign of rescue came. The ocean stretched endlessly in every direction, indifferent to the calf's distress. Then, from below, shadows emerged. A pod of killer whales, their sleek forms cutting through the water with lethal precision, encircled the defenseless infant. Their movements were calculated, their intent unmistakable. Just as they prepared to strike, the sea erupted. Enormous dark figures surged upward, breaking through the surface in a thunderous explosion of foam and spray. What surfaced from the deep that day reshaped everything we believed about marine life. The Pacific Ocean holds countless mysteries beneath its surface, but on this seemingly ordinary morning, the team of marine biologists bore witness to an event that would challenge everything we thought we knew about the complex social behavior of marine mammals. The research vessel had set out at dawn, its mission focused on studying gray whale migration patterns. The ocean was calm, the world bathed in the soft glow of morning, when movement in the distance caught their attention. Through their binoculars, they spotted something unusual, a lone figure moving erratically through the waves. As they maneuvered closer, their breath caught in their throats. There, adrift in the vast, indifferent ocean, was a baby blue whale. The scientists understood the gravity of the situation instantly. Blue whales are the largest creatures ever to exist on Earth, but this one was just an infant, helpless without the protection of its mother. Its every movement spoke of pure desperation. It swam in frantic circles, as if trapped in an invisible whirlpool of fear. Its sleek body carved through the water in restless, aimless motions. Again and again it called out, a haunting sound that carried across the waves, rising and falling like the wail of a lost soul. These were no ordinary vocalizations. These were unmistakable distress calls, raw, urgent, filled with an aching loneliness that pierced the hearts of all who heard them. The ocean offered no answers, no solace, only the deafening silence between each desperate cry. Dr. Emily Carter, the lead researcher, immediately sprang into action. The team had encountered distressed marine mammals before, but never a baby, blue whale. They needed to act fast, without causing further harm. The first priority was securing a safe perimeter around the calf, ensuring that no boats ventured too close and added to its stress. Deploying their underwater hydrophone system, they listened, hoping to detect the answering call of an adult blue whale. The speakers crackled with the sound of the calf's cries, filling the vessel with a haunting symphony of longing. But the ocean remained silent. Hour after hour, they scanned the frequencies used by blue whales. No mother answered. Then, just as hope began to wane, the water stirred, and the unimaginable unfolded before their eyes. Dr. Carter wasted no time. She contacted nearby research stations and marine control units, issuing an urgent alert. If the mother was anywhere within a 100-mile radius, they needed to find her before it was too late. She also reached out to marine mammal rescue specialists, though everyone aboard knew the grim reality. Options for aiding a baby blue whale were painfully limited. The calf needed its mother's milk. Without it, its chances of survival diminished. With each passing hour, the researchers debated their next steps. Could they guide the calf toward shallower waters where it might be safer? The idea was tempting, but the risks were undeniable. Moving their vessel too close could further disorient the young whale or even damage its delicate hearing. Broadcasting. Recorded blue whale calls might provide direction, but it could also attract predators. Every potential solution carried dangerous consequences. A younger researcher hesitantly suggested trying to feed the calf, but Dr. Carter dismissed the notion. No artificial formula could replicate the highly specialized composition of blue whale milk, and any attempt to approach the calf could send it into further distress. Their best course of action was to keep their distance, prevent other vessels, from intruding and continue their desperate search for adult blue whales. Still, the team could do little but watch as the calf's behavior grew more erratic. It dove for minutes at a time, only to resurface in a panic, spinning in confused circles and crying out with renewed desperation. Each time it surfaced, its movements were weaker, less coordinated. The lack of nourishment was taking its toll. By mid-morning, the situation had become even more dire. The calf had veered into deeper waters, seemingly following what it believed was the sound of its mother's song. But the team's hydrophones told a different story. There were no blue whales nearby. Dr. Carter ordered the crew to maintain a parallel course, tracking the calf as best they could. But its confused, aimless wandering was leading them farther from known migration routes, the very waters where they might have found a chance at salvation. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, the scientists pressed forward, scanning the vast expanse of ocean for any sign of an adult whale. Research vessels and marine patrol units across a 100-mile range had joined the search, forming an ever-expanding grid of hope and urgency. But the hours dragged on, and the calf's cries grew fainter. Its energy was fading. Around noon, Dr. Carter noticed a troubling change. The baby whale was no longer diving as deep, nor was it staying below for as long. Time was running out. It was conserving energy, a survival instinct, but also an unmistakable sign that its strength was failing. The research team's frustration mounted as they watched the young whale struggle. Years of training, decades of scientific knowledge, yet in this moment, they could do nothing but observe and document. Then the situation took a turn for the worse. The once placid surface of the ocean began to ripple, the disturbance subtle at first. Then, without warning, dark, ominous fins pierced the waves, slicing through the water with an eerie sense of purpose. A heavy silence fell over the research vessel. The tension in the air thickened as the scientists exchanged wary glances. They had seen enough to know what was coming. Killer whales had arrived. At first, only a few sleek dorsal fins broke the surface, silent spectral hunters moving with precision. But within moments more emerged, until an entire pod of orcas had materialized, converging with chilling synchronicity. Their striking black and white bodies gleamed beneath the shifting sunlight, their powerful forms cutting effortlessly through the water as they closed in. These were not just any predators. Killer whales are among the ocean's most formidable hunters, highly intelligent, ruthlessly efficient, and capable of executing coordinated attacks with near-military precision. Their social structures are intricate, their communication sophisticated, their strategies honed through generations of adaptation. They are apex predators. Even the largest creatures of the sea respect them, and for good reason. The pod wasted no time. Moving in perfect harmony, they formed an ever-tightening circle around their helpless target. A baby whale, isolated, vulnerable, defenseless. The calf's panic was almost tangible. Its small body twisted and turned, desperately seeking an escape route. But there was none. The orcas had anticipated its every move, sealing off every possible path to safety. Their tactics were no accident. This was strategy, refined, inherited, and executed with absolute precision. Then, with chilling inevitability, the attack began. The largest orca, a towering matriarch with a jagged dorsal fin rising high above the water, made the first move. She surged forward with breathtaking speed, her immense bulk gliding with terrifying agility as she zeroed in on the calf's tail fluke. The impact was brutal, deliberate, a calculated strike, not to kill, but to cripple. A shockwave rippled through the water as the calf convulsed from the force of the blow. It let out a high-pitched distress call, a desperate plea that echoed across the endless sea. But the ocean offered no response. There was no one left to answer. The orcas had every advantage: numbers, strength, and experience. And with each passing moment, the baby whale's chances of survival diminished. More orcas joined the hunt. Their movements were swift, methodical, merciless. One delivered a crushing blow to the calf's side. Another lunged at its flippers, ensuring it remained disoriented. unable to regain control of its own body. The water churned violently as the assault escalated. The scene was both brutal and astonishing, a display of pure predatory efficiency, honed over countless generations. From their vessel, the scientists could do nothing but watch in growing horror. Cameras rolled, pens scratched frantically against notepads. Hushed voices whispered theories that no one wanted to confirm. This was nature at its most raw, its most unforgiving. They had seen orca hunts before, but something about this moment felt different. Perhaps it was the sheer innocence of the calf. Too young, too small, too powerless to defend itself. The fight was over before it had even begun, and then something extraordinary happened. Without warning, the ocean itself seemed to shift. The deep, rolling blue darkened as if something massive was rising from below. A low, resonant sound reverberated through the depths, imperceptible at first, but growing in intensity until it could be felt vibrating through the researchers' bones. It was not an orca call. It was something deeper, something older. Then, with explosive force, they emerged. Enormous, shadowy forms surged from the depths, their sudden ascent sending waves cascading in every direction. Water sprayed high into the air, catching the sunlight as these colossal beings rose with undeniable power. Their sheer size was staggering, far larger than even the biggest orcas in the pod. Humpback whales. A group of them had arrived, their immense bodies moving with breathtaking majesty, their long pectoral fins slicing through the water with surprising agility. But what was even more astonishing than their presence was their purpose. These giants, known for their haunting songs and peaceful nature, were not here by coincidence. They had come with intent. They had come to defend a baby whale that was not even of their own species. For years, marine biologists had debated the motivations behind such acts of interspecies protection. Was it an instinctual response, a learned behavior, an echo of some deeper, unspoken bond between ocean dwellers? But to witness it firsthand, to see these gentle titans place themselves between merciless killers and their helpless prey, was something else entirely. It was a moment that defied expectation, a moment that challenged long-standing assumptions about animal behavior. It was, simply put, a moment of awe. The moment of hesitation among the orcas was almost imperceptible, but it was there, a split second of uncertainty, a break in their once unwavering confidence. They knew what humpbacks were capable of, and they knew what was coming next. The boys' battle began. With astonishing coordination, the humpbacks moved as one, forming a protective wall around the calf. Their sheer size alone was an effective deterrent, but they had no intention of merely intimidating. They were taking the offensive. One of the largest humpbacks surged forward, its colossal tail fluke rising high above the water, before slamming down with devastating force. The impact sent a shockwave rippling through the ocean, throwing the nearest orcas into disarray. The water churned violently as the humpbacks unleashed their counterattack. Their massive tails became battering rams, disrupting the orcas' once precise formation. The coordinated hunt that had moments ago seemed inevitable was unraveling before the scientists' eyes. But the humpbacks were not done. They wielded their most formidable weapons, their 5-meter-long pectoral fins. These colossal appendages, each weighing half a ton, became instruments of war as the humpbacks swung them with terrifying strength. A single blow from one of these fins could be catastrophic, even fatal, and the orcas knew it. The confidence that had fueled their relentless pursuit began to wane, replaced by a rare and unfamiliar sensation: doubt. Then the retreat began. 2 particularly massive humpbacks surged forward, their sheer power forcing the orcas backward. Sensing the overwhelming disadvantage, the killer whales abandoned the hunt. One by one they turned, slipping beneath the waves. Their once dominant presence faded, swallowed by the vastness of the ocean. And then they were gone. The battle was over. The baby whale, though shaken and exhausted, was alive. But the humpback's extraordinary actions did not stop with the rescue. A female humpback, her movements slow and deliberate, swam toward the distressed calf. Carefully, she placed herself alongside it, mirroring the protective positioning Desi, mother would take with her own young. With gentle nudges and patient guidance, she began escorting the calf away from the danger zone. The scientists watched in stunned silence, documenting this unprecedented display of cross-species protection. For hours, the female humpback remained with the baby, her presence a silent promise of safety. Every movement, every gesture bore the unmistakable signs of maternal care, despite the fact that this calf was not her own. It was not even of her species. As evening approached, a group of blue whales appeared on the horizon, and in that moment, hope returned to the sea. The female humpback immediately altered course, guiding the baby whale toward the approaching blue whales. It was as if she understood exactly what the calf needed. The pod noticed the approaching pair, and after a brief pause, one female separated from the group to investigate. The scientists aboard the research vessel held their breath. Would the blue whales accept this lost calf? The female circled the baby several times, assessing it with slow, deliberate movements. And then, at last, she made her decision. With a gentle nudge, she guided the calf forward, ushering it into the heart of the pod. The baby whale had found a new family. From a distance, the female humpback watched as the blue whales swam away, the calf now surrounded by the very creatures it had been searching for. Only when they disappeared into the vastness of the ocean did she finally turn and depart, her extraordinary act of compassion fulfilled. This event sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Researchers began analyzing similar cases, uncovering a remarkable pattern. Humpback whales had been documented protecting not only their own, but other species from orca attacks. Time and again, these gentle giants demonstrated an instinct to shield the vulnerable, regardless of species. Why? What drives these majestic beings to risk their own safety for another? Is it instinct, an evolved response to a shared predator, or something deeper? Perhaps in the immense depths of our oceans there exist creatures capable of selfless compassion that rivals our own. This incredible encounter is a testament to a truth often overlooked in the animal kingdom. Sometimes the greatest are not just the strongest, but also the kindest. Did this story move you? Why do you think the humpback whales chose to help the baby instead of leaving it to its fate? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, do not forget to subscribe to our channel, leave a like, and join us as we continue to uncover the most extraordinary wonders of the natural world. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and have a wonderful day.